So this time travel is basically, so if you see the left side table metadata, so this is basically so for example this time 1, time 2, time 3, time 4, time 5 is right. So this is basically, so when and which time we are trying to loading a file into Snowflake database table. Okay. And for example, in the time 1, in the sense today I have day before yesterday I have loaded few files, and yesterday I have loaded few files, and today I have loaded few files. Okay. So here what happen is whenever we are trying to loading a file from internal staging area or external staging area, so that will be maintained in file version format in backend. Okay, so this table file versions will completely managed by cloud services layer, because cloud services layer having metadata information about the particular tables. Okay, so in the time 3, which means today I have uploaded a file and I want to delete the file. Instead of deleting this file, I have deleted this file. File in the sense, even if you delete few records also, that will consider as a file version 1. Okay, so if I deleted wrong file, so now wrong file or wrong record, after a few days I realized it. I should not supposed to delete this record. I have, instead of deleting this record, I have deleted this record. So what will happen is Snowflake intelligently maintain the data in the backend, and it will be maintained in file version format. Okay. So when the moment you deleted it, so this arrow mark you see, right? So these are metadata pointers. So when you delete the file from the table, which means when we are trying to deleting a record from the table, just it remove the metadata pointers from those deleted table. So this arrow indicating that the metadata pointers. So when we delete the specific record, it just remove the metadata pointers for those deleted record. Okay. So when you travel back, so you want to get this data. So what will happen is it just attach those metadata pointers to those deleted records so that we can able to view the data. Okay. So it is purely dependent on what is the retention period is set for the table. So retention period in the sense, whenever we are creating a table, by default we can travel back maximum 1 day, which means if I created a table yesterday, then today whatever the operations I have performed, delete, insert, update, or whatever it is, those data I can travel back up to 1 day, I can pull the data. So by default time travel will be applied 1 day. Okay, so that is the retention period in the sense how long you can travel back. Okay, so here you may get doubt how long you can travel back to get the older version of the data. So it is purely dependent on what is the retention period is set for the table. That will tell you how long you can travel back. Okay, so for example, if I set the retention period for the specific table for 2 days, then I can travel back up to 2 days. If I set for 90 days, then maximum past 90 days I can travel back and I can pull all the updated deleted informations. which means older version of the data, we can pull it. So this we will call it as time travel feature in Snowflake. So time travel is basically if you have performed any wrong operations on table and you want to pull the older version of the data, then we can use time travel in Snowflake. Okay, so it is purely dependent on what is the retention period is set for the table. Okay, so if I set for 10 days, then I can travel back up to 10 days. Okay, if you set for time travel 5 days and you are trying to pulling the data more than 5 days, then you won't get it. Okay, maximum 90 days you can travel back to them and you can pull the data. So what will happen after 90 days? Automatically we have a feature called fail-safe zone in Snowflake. So after 90 days, whatever the data it get deleted, that it will be get registered in the fail-safe zone and it will stay there for 7 days. Okay, so this feature we till today not even except Snowflake, other databases, data warehouses, we don't have this feature. So Snowflake by default it is giving time travel feature in Snowflake. Okay, any doubts here? At least theoretically. So here, so this is how the file versions will get generated. So for example, today I have loaded a file. So now the time is 7:13, right? I have loaded a file from S3 to Snowflake. So this file having some 10 records. Okay, so after 8 a.m. what I did is in Snowflake directly I have updated one record. So when we load the data into Snowflake, it will treat it as file version 1. If you update any even one record also, it will treat it as file version 2. And 8:10 a.m. you have inserted one record. Okay, this will get updated as file version 3. In 9 a.m. you have deleted few records. So this also it will be maintained as file version 4. So this is how it will maintain the data. So when we apply a time travel in Snowflake, so what will happen is if I deleted this record, what will happen is it just remove the metadata pointers for those deleted record. Okay, so when we execute now, after deleting a record, if I execute now, it just remove the metadata pointers for those deleted records so that I cannot able to view the deleted record now. But if I travel back to get the older version of the data, then In the backend, Snowflake it just attach those metadata pointers for those deleted record, so that I can able to view the deleted record. Okay, so this is how it will be work. Any doubts here? So here okay, so at the end we will discuss about the questions. So let me, we'll see practically how this time travel work. Okay, I'm selecting the database DemoDB. By default, schema name will get it. So this is the table. So this table having total. So I'm changing system admin to account admin. Okay, so total 1050 records are there. So now, so as I said, by default, the retention period is set for 1 day. By default, it will be 1 day is there. So how we will get to know is by executing show tables like snow underscore table. So if we write a statement like throw tables like table name, so we will get to know. So if you scroll right side, so you will get the retention time. So the retention time is 1 day by default. Okay. So if we create any table, so by default it will be retention period is 1 day. So now if I want to increase the table retention period, then what we can do is alter table name is snow underscore table, set data retention time in days equal to 10 days. If I set for 10 days, then the statement executed successfully. Then after that, if I look for whether it is get reflected correctly or not, so the retention time it is increased to 10 days. So here, Snowflake, how it will charge is based on how many days you are setting, accordingly Snowflake will charge. So the amount or the price may vary based on how many days you are setting it. So by default 1 day it will charge for 1 day, accordingly for 10 days, for 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, accordingly the prices may vary it. Okay, based on which edition we are working, accordingly Snowflake will charge. Okay, so this is increase the time travel days or retention period days. Okay, so if I want to completely disable the retention period, so how you can disable the retention period? If I make it 0, then automatically so the time travel will be disabled for this specific table. Okay, so the retention time days is 0. Okay, so what will happen is, so this two are very important questions, and this is, if they ask time travel, then definitely they will ask this question: how you can enable the time travel feature? Alter table name, set data retention time in days equal to, you can specify number of days, how many days you want to travel past, travel back. Okay, so how you can disable the complete time travel is by specifying 0. Okay, so this is the table, right? So I'm creating one more show tables, right? Create or replace table. So I have created a table called disable. Okay, now I'm I'm disabling the time travel. So once I disable the time travel, drop table. If I delete the table, then the table will get deleted permanently. You cannot get it back. But if I set the, by default snow table is there, right? By default snow table retention period is 10, so we have increased up to 10 days, right? So I'm creating a same table. I'm creating one more table called time travel table. Okay, so for time travel table, by default, it will enable for 1 day. Retention period is set for 1 day. Okay, it is set for 1 day. So what will happen is if I delete the table, drop table, table name, time travel underscore table. If I delete the table, I have deleted the table permanently. So if I want to undrop the table, which means undo in the sense, if you delete or something, if you undo it, file will be rollback, right? So if I undrop it, undrop table time t underscore table. So you will get the table time t underscore table is successfully restored. Okay, so if I execute a select statement, start from time t underscore table, this table is exists now, but we don't have any records. Clear how this time travel work, or should I repeat it?
Repeat once.
Okay, so I'll take the proper names. I'm creating a table. Time travel underscore table, like snow table. Okay, so table is created. Now insert into table time travel underscore table, select star from snow table. So this indicating that, so this is the new table which we have created, right? So we have created a table, and whatever the data records are available in this table, the complete records we moved into this table. Okay, now this table having 1050 records. So if you see here, number of rows inserted 1050. Select star from time travel table. So now this table having records, correct? So now I want to look at so what is the retention period is set for this table. So we just created a table, right? So tables like table name, so by default the retention period is 1 day. Okay, so this is also an interview question. By default, what is the retention period for the table? By default it will be 1 day only. Okay, so now I'm deleting the table. Drop table name. Ideally, if I delete the table, the complete table, it is get deleted permanently. Okay, so and we have set for the by default it is set for 1 day, right? Retention period. So if I do any operation like delete operation and by mistakenly I have deleted this table, after 1 hour, after 12 hours, or after 23 hours, I have realized that okay, instead of deleting one table, I have deleted another table. So now I want to get back the table. So I can get back the table before 24 hours. After 24 hours, this table I can't able to get back it. Undrop table name. So before executing the statement, I want to show you. So it is saying this table itself does not exist because we have deleted the table. So now I am executing this statement on drop table name. So now we get the message the table name successfully restored, which means it get backed. If I execute the select statement, then you can see the complete data. Got it? So by default it is set for 1 day. So within 1 day itself I have realized I should not supposed to delete this table. So I have undropped the table, which means the table will get restored. Restored, rollback, both are same only. So this is how the time travel work. Okay, so in case if I disable the time travel, so what will happen? Okay, so I'm creating a table called disable time travel.
Here the table.
Okay, now this table having records. So now I want to, so for this table also, by default retention period is 1 day. Okay, so now I am disabling the time travel by writing a statement alter table name is set data retention time in days equal to 0. Table name is wrong. Okay, so for disable time travel table, the retention period is 0, which means time travel is disabled. Now if I drop the table, okay, table is successfully deleted. So now if I look for the records, then the table itself does not exist. So if I try to undraw the table, let's see what error we will get it. There is the error we used to get it. So did not exist or was pooched. Pooched in the sense it get deleted permanently. You won't get it back. Even if you contact to Snowflake support team also, they won't help. Okay. So this is how it will work in time travel in Snowflake. So far we applied on tables, right? We will see in the table records. So the pattern is same. So show tables, no tables, right? Start from tables, no table. So now what I'm doing is I'm deleting mail records. Okay. So first I'll verify it. So whether the retention period I disabled or not. Okay. So the retention time I set 10 days. Okay, so now I'm delete from table name snow underscore table. I am using filter condition. Where gender equal to male. So wherever the male records are there, that it will be completely get deleted. So before deleting, if you want to check it, how many male records are there, gender equal to male. So you will get only male records. So male records are total 532 male records are there. Okay, so now I am deleting those 532 rows. So number of rows deleted 532. So now I am looking for the number of records available in the table. So it is having total 518 records. Ideally, it should be 1050 records, right? So later, even after 9 days also, if I realize it, even after 10th date also, 1 hour before also, if you realize it, or 1 minute before also, if you realize it, you can pull that back this data. Okay. So here there are. So it is always a good idea to create a backup table whenever we are trying to traveling back to get the older version of the data. Okay. So I'm creating a table. Backup as select star from snow table at I'm specifying offset. So this is indicating seconds and this will indicate minutes. Okay. So I'm creating a backup table for this table. So here for backup table, I'm not defining anything. So by default, it will automatically take care. And I'm indicating the offset. Offset in the sense it will offset indicates that we should travel back. So it is indicating to Snowflake. So wherever the Snowflake identifies the offset, which means this select query, when the select this statement, whenever it is executing, that time it will travel back past 10 minutes and minus 60 is seconds. Okay. Now we get the complete data. 1050 records, we get it. Okay. But if I execute this select star from table, I'm having 518 records. So after deleting. So ideally it should be 1050 records. So when I travel back to get the older version of the data, it is always a good idea or best practice to make one backup table. Okay. And this backup table will having all the data. Any doubts here? If you do any operation, so you can travel back and this is how you will get it. And one more way, this is the first way. You can say how many ways we can travel back. The first point is using offset. The second one is, so the second we'll see how you will get it. So if you go to the history, and if I execute this, if I click this query ID, it will take you into the high level profile page where we will get the high level details like who executed and which warehouse it took and how many records, how much data it was scanned, and how much time it took to return the result, etc. All the details you used to get it, right? So here, if you see 518 rows produced, which means this is not the correct one. So I'm scrolling down. If I click this query ID, yes, this table having 1050 rows. So now what I'm doing is I'm copying this query ID in the left side. I'm copying it and go to the worksheet. Select star from table. Before use statement. Star from table. Correct only. So let's start from table name and use BA4. I have not specified the table name. So table spelling down. Yeah. So now you will get the 1050 records. Even though if you delete the table. Sorry, after deleting gender records, so you will get the complete. So if we execute show tables having 518 records, only female records only we have it. Male records we have deleted. Okay, so this is other way to get the complete records. So you will get the complete records by using the query ID. So here the second option is using before. Using before statement, you can get this data. But here the second option is how long this query IDs will exist. Those many days only you can get it. Once this history get deleted, then we cannot get the query ID, right? Still the history details are exist. So that's why we can able to find the query ID. If you are not able to find the query ID, then it is really difficult for us to pull, or you can pull the older version of the data. Correct. So up to 14 days only this history details will be maintained. After 14 days, this history details will be removed from here. Clear? Which means this is also another option, but it is not suggestible. Suggestible in the sense till 14 days only we can pull and we can get it. But this there is no limitation. So if you set the time travel for 90 days, then still we can use the same offset and it can pull past 40 days data, past 90 days data. Okay. Any questions so far?
అన్న ఎక్కడ ఒక డౌట్ ఇది
Yes.
మనం యాక్చువల్గా టైం సెట్ని ఫర్ 10 డేస్కి సెట్ చేస్తున్నాము. సో క్వైరీ 14 డేస్ ఉంటుంది అంటున్నారు కదా. సో
Query ID.
క్వైరీ ఐడి
This query ID. So in the history, you will get till 14 days history. You will find it here.
ఓకే. సో అప్పుడు మనం 10 డేస్కి ఇక్కడ 14 డేస్లో మన డేటా పుల్ చేసుకోవచ్చు.
With the help of this option, you can pull it.
ఓకే ఓకే
If you are not able to identifying the query ID exactly, then you just simply ignore it. You can go ahead with this option, offset.
ఓకే
So I'm giving possible ways. Either you can use this one or you can use this one also.
ఓకే
Clear?
క్లియర్.
And one more option also is available. By specifying the exact time. Select star from table name, snow table, at, and specifying the timestamp. So when we specifying the timestamp, so it should be very clearly we have to specify it. Otherwise, system may not able to understand. Okay, let me get it the current timestamp. permissions or
Above statement semicolon is not given.
select the current timestamp. Yes, now it is showing. So here the timestamp it is coming with year, month and date format. So we will see if I give the same timestamp, whether it will identify it or not. I will make it 27, right? I will make it 17. Timestamp underscore digit. Yes. So by using before statement also we can 518 records, right? So now we get it, right? So 1050 records we have received it completely. Give me a minute, I'm connecting a laptop charger. Something like by indicating the specific or exact date you want to get the information, like so past 10 days, which means today is 12th, right? So somewhere around in July 8th, what operation I have performed in this table. So I want to get the data. So you can specify the exact timestamp. By indicating the exact timestamp, you can pull the exact that day what happened, and that day how many records are available, the complete information you will get it. Okay, 1050 records we get it. So ideally if you look for the number of tables available in the Snowflake table is 518 records. So if I travel back, so I used to get the complete records, 1050 records, including deleted records also I have received it. Clear? So this third option is using timestamp. So these are the three ways. Whichever you are comfortable, you can go ahead. These many ways you can travel back and pull the older version of the data. So one is by specifying offset, and another one is by using before statement, and the third one is using timestamp. Okay. Here at before offset. These are classes. Okay, and offset and here this current timestamp is there, right? This is function. Okay, so how you can recognize it whether it is a function or keyword? So wherever you see this color blindly, we can call this as a keyword. Okay, and wherever you see open parenthesis and closing parenthesis, this indicates a function. Clear? Any doubts here? Now we will talk about interview questions.